is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
How you guys doing today? This is Felonious Bitcoin. My name is Matt. I'm coming at you with this video today as a demonstration of things to come. For instance, the global financial system is it's fragile, to say the least. It's like walking on eggshells, so to speak. And the Federal Reserve, they can't figure out what to do. So what they do is they'll enact quantitative easing, basically manipulating markets as much as possible and printing money. Inflation is going to go up any day now here in the United States, and I'm not going to fall victim to that. So what I've done is I prepared for the worst in every aspect that you can possibly think of. Food, water, shelter, obviously finances. And I wanted to show you guys this, right? This is my old credit card with Webster Bank. I am cutting it on camera to show you guys that I paid this debt and it's gone. No more. So I urge anybody out there to do exactly the same thing that I've done. And this is, I would give this as financial advice because throughout history, governments, what they've done is they take advantage of their people. The Roman Empire, they did the same thing that the United States is doing. They stopped putting physical metals like silver and gold into their coinage right before the Roman Empire collapsed. It went from 90% to 75% to 50% to like 15% and then nothing. Kind of like what the United States has done with our money in the 1960s, 1964, 1965-ish. They stopped using physical silver in the coins. And why is that? And if you look at history, it kind of has an odd way of repeating itself. The governments, this is pretty much the only plan that they know, is to create inflation and until nobody can afford anything. And it basically robs their citizens blind and impoverishes them. And basically will cause global turmoil and chaos, like it always has. The Nazi Empire, same idea. People were burning cash to stay warm right after the fall of the Nazi Empire. So, if you want to be in a safe place, gold and silver is where you want to be. Cash is not a safe place to be. Let me show you guys a demonstration, just so you guys can put this into perspective. Okay, I'm taking out $2 here, right? I have $2 in my hand. These $2, right? This represents a gallon of gas at today's prices, right? For the most part, you give or take a few cents. But here I have a 1957 silver quarter, right? I'm not sure if you guys can see that. A 1957 silver quarter, and the purchasing power of this far outpaces the purchasing power of these $2 today in 2019. So to put that into perspective, you could probably buy roughly, I want to say, 8 gallons of gas with this 1 quarter today, as opposed to this that gets you 1 gallon of gas today. So that just gives you an idea of how inflation works. You could get more for your you could get more for your money, real money, silver, than you can for this fiat paper bullshit that they issue through the Federal Reserve System. And this is what I mean. The government is taking advantage of its people. The banks basically run everything. And what are the banks doing? And that's why I'm doing this. I'm following their lead. The banks are basically manipulating markets to the point where no one can buy anything. They're making the Dow Jones go up and up and up and up. And that's unsustainable. You can't do that forever. I mean, eventually there has to be some sort of correction. And I believe that's right around the corner. With Trump's State of the Union speech and everything that he said in there, it was a really nice speech. Well organized. He had all the people there that he wanted to be there. That would, I had this, criminal that was in the prison system for such and such years, convicted of drugs and this and that. And we have another program so that way you don't have to spend the rest of your life in prison if that's what you've done. But they also had like a veteran. From World War II, one of the, Jewish survivors, I think. I'm not really certain about all the details because it was like an hour and a half long, so I can't remember everything. But it was basically a really good speech. And, like every good dictator in history, they always give a really good speech right before the fall. And I think that's what's going on. The Super Bowl game, it was the worst Super Bowl in history. And then after, Tom Brady and the Patriots said that they wouldn't be joining Trump at the White House, So that just kind of gives you an idea of the state of the economy right now, the people's attitude towards the government, and in general, people's demeanor, it's going down. Their morale, it's going down, and there's a reason, because people can't afford to buy anything. All those seats at the Super Bowl, that's all bought and paid for with corporate interests. That's not normal everyday people that can afford to buy tickets. No, this is people that have, these seats were paid in advance, like a year. So you're not getting a seat at that Super Bowl. And I think that was like a demonstration to the people in charge that, the economy is collapsing. It's falling, just like the scores in the Super Bowl. All the errors that were made during the Super Bowl, I mean, you can't even count them. They made so many incomplete passes. But I'm not talking about that. But what I did find interesting about the Super Bowl, and I just want to give a shout out real quick to Salivate Metals. Really good guy. He covers a lot of topics, and he gave me a shout out, so I'm going to return the favor. So hey Sal, what's up? Anyways, yeah, during the Super Bowl, one of the Patriots players had a tattoo on his arm of the pyramid with the all-seeing eye. And I thought that was very strange, to say the least, because if you look on the back of the United States $1 bill, what do you see right there? The all-seeing eye. And it's on the collapsing currency that we use today. And not just that, but so many different signs are there, and people just choose to ignore them. For example, the 1988 Economist magazine cover, it basically depicts a phoenix, and beneath the talons of the phoenix are all the world's currencies burning. And a phoenix represents rebirth from ashes, or reborn from the ashes. And if you break down government into Latin terms, its original form, it basically, govern means control and ment means of the mind. So you have all this mind control going on. The Super Bowl is a mind control tool, believe it or not. Just like the media that you watch, the news, it's all negative shit, and it's designed to scare you, and it works. It's a really effective tool. But it's unfortunate that that's the course that the world has taken. But I'm kind of my thoughts are a little bit jumbled right now, so I'm not exactly thinking clearly. I don't have I'm not organized in this video, so. But yeah, the control and the tactics that they use, it's unmatched. Here's one. The Roman Empire, what did they do? They held games in the Colosseum. Right before the collapse, when the Caesar, basically the government, was a mismanagement of funds or mismanagement of the precious metals, the whole economy went down. And they distracted people by holding these games at the Coliseum. Given that it was more entertaining because people were dying and getting shot with arrows and eaten by lions and shit. It's kind of like the same thing we have today. It's just a little bit more lax with the entertainment. As far as killing people. So we have the Super Bowl. It's basically like a replica of the Colosseum over in Rome. And what do you think is going to happen? When our economy falls like it's destined to, since 1913, when the Federal Reserve took over here in the United States, they issued currency, which isn't money, it's just fiat currency issued by government nation states. In return, you exchange your precious metals to the Federal Reserve, and then they issue you Federal Reserve notes. This is theft. This is real money. Okay? So next time they try to play these games with you people, don't do it. Don't do it. Hold on to your precious metals. Barter with your precious metals, because that is real money. That is real where your wealth will be stored when things go wrong, when things are bad. Granted, the convenience of it, using a debit card and a credit card, that comes at a cost. And what is the cost? You're paying interest. Basically money that doesn't exist yet in the system, that you have to eventually pay back, making you a debt slave for as long as you can imagine. Look at this, the entire world as a whole. Everyone owes credit or owes money to someone. And to who? You know what I mean? That's the question. To who exactly? The big banks. They're the ones that are issuing credit, and they're the ones that are going to make slaves out of everybody. It's a control tool. It really is. But this is freedom. Okay, this gives you financial freedom. Okay, you have physical metals, silver and gold, whatever you can afford to buy is what I would recommend. These are 1/20th ounce coins from the Royal Canadian Mint, and I would say that is a very good coin to get as far as gold, because it's small enough that you can break it up and you can, trade for it. And, if you want to go, to a more safe route, you would want to go with like, silver like this, right? These are Canadian maple leafs. Check these out. This is what you want to have in your possession. Physical silver. Okay, you don't want to have the paper fiat currency issued by a government, in return for your precious metals. Because if the governments find value in your precious metals, why can't you find value in your precious metals? It's a good question. It's one that doesn't really ever get answered. So my recommendation is to stock up on as much physical silver as you possibly can. And just sit on it. This is how you retain value over time. This is not a joke. You know what I mean? I'm practicing what I preach. This is not. I have no incentive to sell you guys on precious metals. It's a conscious decision that I chose to make. Because I see where the world is going. You do not want to go into digital illusions of wealth, like cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or Litecoin or anything like that at this point, because let me tell you guys something else. The NSA created the hashing algorithm. They have a patent on the hashing algorithm, so they own it. That's government owned. So my recommendation is to stay as far away from the government as you can, and the best way to do it is to use what they use, and that's gold and silver. Stockpile as much as you can. Get out of debt. Pay off your credit cards and close them completely, because all that's going to do is it's going to keep you a debt slave. And if you think about it, it's the absolute truth. This is a limited edition gold coin. It's got 0.99999 purity silver, and that's issued from the Royal Canadian Mint. That's a 1 ounce round. I also have a 3 gram, 100 gram bar. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but this is what I mean. When you guys hold it in your hand and you have the physical metal in your possession, that's real power. You know, these are 1 ounce coins. Let me tell you guys, these things are heavy for the size that they contain. I mean, look at that. It's absolutely perfect. It's amazing to look at. It's amazing to hold, and it has so much value in just such a small piece of metal. I mean, when you have it in your possession, you'll know exactly the feeling that I'm describing to you guys. And if you don't have a lot to spend, that's okay. You don't have to be super rich to own your own precious metals. You can buy one of these coins. Look at this, silver Canadian maple leaf for like 17 bucks. Ordered online and shipped to your door in 2 business days with tracking and insurance. So this is what I'm talking about. A lot of these people say, oh, don't buy precious metals online. You're going to get ripped off. Go to this place or that place. But no, you're not going to get ripped off. Does it look like I got ripped off? I mean, I'm sitting here with all this stuff in front of me. What do you think it came from? Coin shops? No, it came from online. You know, and then you could get into like something like this, a 10-ounce bar. You know, it's a very beautiful, it's got detail, it's nice. This is issued from the Scottsdale Mint. But, I mean, you want to diversify. You know what I mean? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And don't even just put all your money into precious metals either. Diversify. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, but I used to be homeless when I was a kid with my mother, to be honest with you guys. And I've made smart decisions my entire life, and that's why I've gotten to the point that I'm at now, and that's why you see what you see on my video, because I've made good decisions. And that's something that I urge other people to do, is just make good decisions. And that's a 10-ounce bar right there. See the detail and the beauty in that? You tell me that you don't see value in this, and you hold it in your hand and it's in your possession and nobody can take it away from you. Nobody knows about it. It's not tracked. It's the most anonymous form of trade that ever existed in the history of the world. And that's what I would say is the best bet to stick to. You know, and if you want my advice, and if you have the funds to do this, this is what I've done personally. I've invested in monster boxes of, you know, silver maple leaves. What you guys see on camera is just a very small portion of what I've collected over the years. I also have a lot of these quarters, silver quarters. I got bags of them, okay? That's what you want to do, okay? You want to stock up on precious metals. You want to get out of the digital illusions of wealth and into real tangible assets that you can hold in your hand that has always been recognizable value throughout history. Governments of the world are stockpiling physical metals. And why do you think that is? Because the economy is as good as Trump says it is? Or because they're panicking and quantitative easing is a symptom of that? It's a telltale sign that the Federal Reserve is panicking because they have no other options. All the options that they have with manipulating markets is exhausted. So the last stand and the final joke to everybody, to civilization, is to you know, basically give them all your value, put you in debt, and they have all the gold and silver, and you have nothing. You have digital illusions of wealth on a debit or credit card or in a cryptocurrency form that's transacted online that you can't hold. You don't have it. Okay, so to all the crypto enthusiasts out there, I mean, you guys really need to think long and hard about this. I used to be a big Bitcoin advocate, you know, and I predicted that it was going to have a meteoric rise, parabolic curve. I predicted it on Facebook a couple of days before it actually happened. And people, they generally don't listen, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Because when the curtains get pulled and you really see what's going on, it's going to be chaos. And anyone left holding the bag, it's not going to be good. It's like a game of musical chairs, and the last man standing with the debt is the loser. The people sitting down with all the gold and silver, they're going to be the winners. You know what I mean? And if you really want to put your wealth into something and you're going to sit on it for a long time, I would say collect some of these bars right here. These are 100-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver minted bars. Okay, this is money. Okay, there's weight in this. This is real. That you can hear it. The sound that this stuff makes, you can't match this. And silver is getting mined less and less now than it ever has. Same with gold, because people can't afford to do it. But if you're here in the United States, I would say definitely get some of these coins. You're going to pay a little bit of a premium for it over spot. And there's a reason for that, because it's recognizable throughout the entire world. These are Walking Liberty dollars, or coins, whatever. Yeah, $1. Yeah. So it says right there what the value is in US dollars, but it's really not the value because it's silver. You know what I mean? You're going to get more for 1 ounce of silver than you would for a $1 bill. It's just a fact. You can't match precious metals to anything. They try to back everything with precious metals, and that's always the way it is. And so why do people get rid of their precious metals? Are you people crazy? You don't want to get rid of your precious metals. You want to hold on to them for dear life. HODL precious metals, not cryptocurrency, because you're going to lose. You know, it's a losing man's bet. People talk about all the anonymity in it and this and that, but there's so many points of attack with cryptocurrencies and financial systems that it's unbelievably incredible that people still fall for it. For instance, cryptocurrency, the first point of failure, the internet. The internet is a tool designed by the United States military for their use, the US Navy. Cryptographic hashing algorithms created by the NSA, another government entity. And you're going to use that and expect that you're going to have your own privacy, or, you know, you're not going to be tracked. You're mistaken. Trust me, you're mistaken. So don't hold on to that stuff. And this is just my own personal advice. I'm not giving financial advice, but you can see where I'm putting my money. And it's real money. You know, I'm not holding on to monopoly money right here, you know, for very long. This stuff it's useless. It's useless. It always has been. We all just share this hallucination that this somehow has value. And why do we always fall for it? Because governments issue it. And we somehow have some sort of faith in our government to do the right thing. But have they ever? Name one government in history that's ever done their people a favor or has looked out for their people's best interests. The people, I mean, like everybody, as opposed to just the people at the very top with all the money and the gold that sit, you know, in castles, like the Rothschilds, for instance. And that's just one family to name. You know, you want to put your money into real assets. This is real money right here. Not the fake stuff that they tell you is money. You know, you're going to lose. I'm telling you, if you hold on to paper dollars or debt, you're going to lose. So you want to pay that debt down. You want to get rid of it. File bankruptcy even if you have to, especially now, because you're going to get stuck holding the bag. And when hyperinflation sets in, so does the interest rates on your debt. So that means that your interest rates are going to go through the roof. You're going to be paying more in debt than you ever imagined that you possibly would have. And you're not going to be holding on to any real assets. You know, everyone has all these mortgages. The 2008 banking crisis, that was just another symptom to the underlying problem that we're having today. And I'm sorry for making this video. I'm ranting and raving. And please like and subscribe to this video if you enjoy my content. You know, help spread the word. You don't have to spread my video, but if you make your own videos, you know, that's what it's all about. Community, people helping each other out, people spreading awareness about things that make sense. And you know, you see the world as it is today. Venezuela, the United States put sanctions on Venezuela to collapse their economy. I don't know the reasons behind that. All I can really do is speculate. But what I do know is that governments don't really have the best interests of their people at heart. You know what I mean? It's always like that. The Roman Empire, everybody was like, yeah, the games, yeah, right? And then what happened when their economy collapsed? It was chaos. It was every man for himself. And that's exactly what's going to happen here in the United States. People are so dumbed down and stupid and drugged up that they see things happening right in front of them and they choose to ignore it. And they're going to get slaughtered. You know, these are the people that are going to be the cattle. You know, Get yourself in physical, good physical shape. Stop eating fast food. Stop drinking Kool-Aid. Drink healthy. Drink healthy water, like, with a pH of 7.0 or higher. The alkalinity is, the higher it is, the better it is for your body. Lower alkalinity, believe it or not, scientifically has been proven to cause cancer. So you want to stay away from like Poland Springs and bottled water like that. I would definitely not touch Walmart water. That's just my own preference. If you want my opinions, I would say the expensive waters, you get what you pay for, and they're better. Fiji, Evian, waters like that. You don't want Life water. As misleading as that is, that has a very low pH and it's not good for you. So Life water is really death water. So stay away from that shit. But yeah, I memean, I've gone on for a long time about this stuff, but you can see that I'm putting my money where my mouth is, exactly. As I'm practicing what I preach. I'm not telling you things that are not true. I'm not doing things that are misleading. I'm showing you on camera, on YouTube right now, that this is the state of the economy that we're in right now. We have, all kinds of crazy drug overdoses everywhere, mass shootings, government employees not getting paid for their work. And these are it's just a smokescreen for the underlying problem. And the problem is that we gave control to the Federal Reserve and they printed money. And just like every single economy in history, it's a bait and switch. That's what they do. They bait you and then they switch. They take your currency, they take your money, your gold and your silver, and then they issue you paper dollars or some sort of digital illusion of wealth that's issued by your government. And you're supposed to have some sort of faith that it's going to last. Let me tell you something, guys. When this goes down, the entire worldwide economy, the government system, the worldwide economy is going to collapse. People are not going to have faith. And what have you seen happening? You see all these people, they can't get along. There's so much tension everywhere in all the big cities. I would say if you want any chance at peace, go to like one of the southern states where there's a lot of land in between houses. That's what I plan on doing, is moving to Texas, enacting my constitutional rights as an American and living as a free man. I'm taking control of my life. I'm not going to let some stupid system that doesn't know what the hell it's doing have control over what I'm going to do. They can say they're going to have control. They can put me in prison. They can say I'm breaking the law for having precious metals or whatever I'm doing, but I'm not. I'm just doing exactly what the governments are doing. And if they can do it, why can't everybody else? And if they can, they issue currency. I'm not issuing currency. I'm using currency that was created on Earth millions of years ago, billions of years ago, since the beginning. Before people even existed, this has been money. And it always has been. It's stood the test of time. And no cryptocurrency or digital illusion of wealth is ever going to match that. But I would say your best bet is in silver because you will be able to capitalize on the ratio. We're basically at 80-to-1 ratio, 80 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold, and that's supposed to come down at some point. And when it does, the people that have this are going to benefit the most. And what do you think JP Morgan is doing? Do you think the guy's a dummy, Jamie Dimon? Do you think he's an idiot for stockpiling silver and manipulating the market downward so he can buy up as much physical as possible for the lowest price possible? No, that's smart business. And I'm going to do the same exact thing. And I urge you guys to do that too. And let's just say, for instance, for posterity's sake, that the global system does collapse, which it's going to. It's baked into the cake. It's in the recipe that this is going to happen. You want to stock up on as much physical, foods, non-perishables as possible. More calories. I would say 1 million calories stockpiled is a good start for each person. So, I mean, if you have a family out there and you care about your family, then do what I'm doing. I have kids. I have a girlfriend, and I just want to be happy and live my life. You know what I mean? I don't want to be a debt slave to this economy. Every nation is trillions of dollars in debt, and who is it owed to? If everybody owes money to somebody, then where is it all going to go? My take on this is the government or central banks, and the families that own these central banks. But we have a free market that's sitting right in front of us. People choose to ignore it on a daily basis. They go on about their lives because they're manipulated. Everybody, the psychology tactics that the media uses on people, it's unbelievably unmatched. Since I was a kid, we had like 2 or 3 channels, and they didn't have much news on, and if they did, it was just weather, and sometimes they would talk about local events going on. They never really talked about, police shootings and all kinds of crazy shit happening, because it wasn't really happening. On the side of police cars back in the 1970s, they used to have their slogan that said, "To protect and serve," on the side of the police car. You can look it up. If you're not old enough to remember this stuff, if you're not old enough to remember this stuff, then I would say, look it up. You know what I mean? Cross-reference resources, information that you find. Cross-reference between newspapers, news articles, online content, and wherever you can possibly get your hands on it. Because that is how you make truth out of this crazy world that we're in today. That's how you get to the truth. And the truth is, the system has been manipulated through paper derivatives and ETFs and all kinds of Wall Street craziness. They're basically using mathematics to manipulate markets, algorithms to manipulate markets, and eventually it's not going to work anymore. And it's starting to show. It's rearing its ugly head everywhere you look. People are not able to save. People are in debt. 39% of Americans don't have $1,000 saved. Or they do have, only 39% of Americans have $1,000 saved for an emergency. Hey, sorry guys, my camera cut off there because the recording was too long. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to preserve your value and your wealth, what you've worked for, you're going to want to put it into something that is a hedge against risk, like the US dollar. The US dollar, you look at its long-term trajectory, it's lost 97% of its purchasing power since 1913. I mean, right there tells you the truth. Your purchasing power back in 1913 with, one of these, you probably could have bought land with this. I'm not even joking with you. You probably could have bought land with that silver quarter. During the Louisiana Purchase, 1 ounce of silver could buy you 42 acres of land. Okay, so I'm just putting this into perspective. So when all these digital illusions of wealth come crashing down and the banks are left holding all the precious metals, what do you think they're going to do? Think about it. So I mean, that's what I mean. Buy yourself guns. Stock up on physical ammo, like on ammo, physical silver, gold. You want to stock up on non-perishable foods, water. Why is it bad to prepare for the worst? People always down talk it like it's the worst thing in the world, when it's really, you're making smart decisions for your life. And that's what it really comes down to. You need to make smart decisions for your life, and the life of your family. That's what it's about. And that's exactly what the banks are doing. And it's not a crime if you're going to do it just like they're doing it. That's my take on this. And I hope you guys got some value out of this and you're able to see through the bullshit that's really going on in the world today. Listen to Mike Maloney. He outlines all the charts for what they are. He references his sources to federal statistics in different places. And he cross-references everything. It's not just him either. It's multiple sources that are talking like this. The government shutdown, I don't think that's just a smokescreen. I think there's a big problem. The longest government shutdown in history. Ben Bernanke talking, about the Federal Reserve and how they're going to do this and that. What are they really doing? You see what's really going on. He was questioned by the military because Ron Paul had some questions that he couldn't answer. These things are starting to come to light. People are starting to see exactly what's going on. The control tactics, they need to stop. They need to let the free market decide what money is. And this has always been money since the beginning of time. And this is what I would say to stick to. So this is Felonious Bitcoin. And again, I'm going to make a shout out to Salivate Metals. You're awesome, dude. I thank you very much for giving me a shout out too. To anyone out there in the silver and gold stacking community, you guys obviously have an edge over other people that don't know what's going on. So kudos to you. Truth Never Told, I want to give you a shout out. SGT Report, I want to give you a shout out as well. And anyone else out there, Jeremiah Babe, some of the things that you say I don't agree with, but for the most part, I think you're on track with what's going on. But I mean, you're giving good advice. You're telling people to stock up on silver and metals, and that's the best advice anyone is going to give you, the banks included. But they'll never tell you that. They'll tell you, no, keep the dollars. Keep the dollars. That's money. They'll tell you to hold on to their paper currency that's one day going to collapse and be used as toilet paper. And I wouldn't even use it for that because it's got so much shit on it. And it's got bacteria all over it. And what do you see with silver? It has antibacterial healing properties, antiviral properties. It's good for your health. It's used in the medical field everywhere you look. And it gives you it supposedly has some sort of energy. This is the money of the gods. Gold and silver is the money of the gods. So this is what you want to do. You want to do what they're doing. You want to preserve your wealth in this and nothing else. I would never stick to any kind of stocks or mining stocks because that's speculative. That could come crashing down at any moment. And you don't know how long these mining companies are going to stay afloat because if they can't mine at production, then they're at a loss and they're going to go under. It's simple economics and mathematics. But yeah, diversify your portfolio as much as possible. But my recommendation right now for the state of the economy, the worldwide economy, not just the United States, I would say do what the governments are doing and stock up on your precious metals and prepare for the worst. And this is Felonious Bitcoin. Again, to everyone out there that's stacking, keep on doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. Pay off your debt. Get rid of those credit cards. I would say maybe keep your credit card and keep your money in the bank and make sure you balance your account. That way you don't go negative and get charged overdraft fees and all kinds of crazy shit that they like to throw at people. Because you're going to be made into a debt slave if you stick to that system. I mean, you can see it. It's obvious at this point. So, I mean, you guys need to take control of your lives. Stop counting on governments to look out for you. Stop counting on government to feed you because it's not going to work. It doesn't work. I mean, history has shown us time and time again that this right here is where you want to put your money. This is money, not the shit that they issue you through a bank in return for the stuff that you trade in like this. So again, Felonious Bitcoin here. Have a great day, guys. Stay safe. God bless every one of you and your families. I don't care what you believe in, if you're an atheist or if you believe in God or if you believe in Buddha or if you believe in dog shit. It doesn't matter to me. What I care about is spreading awareness for the things that matter. And this is something that matters. I think human life matters. As much as anything else. So you guys want to be smart, make good investment decisions, and hedge against the risk. And the risk is everywhere. The Dow Jones dropping 400 points a day. I mean, something's going on. Something's not right. And the 9/11 conspiracies are not even conspiracies anymore. The Twin Tower attacks were staged, planned, and the owner of the Twin Towers took out $1 trillion insurance policy 2 weeks before the terrorist attacks, specifically for terrorist attacks. I mean, what are the odds? I'll wait. You guys tell me. I'll sit here and I'll wait. But I mean, that's what I mean. You have the FBI that isn't going after Hillary Clinton for what she's doing, but they're going after Donald Trump and all his associates. Why? I don't understand this. The whole system, it's distraction tactics, it's confusing, and the people that work for the Fed, they don't even know what the hell they're doing. It's sad that they think they know what they're doing and they think they have the right idea for people when they don't. The free market is the right idea. God's money is the right idea for people. And I think they've used manipulation and distraction and any kind of tactics that they can, evil tactics, to take control of you. You know, people that, man cannot control man. That was in the Bible. I don't believe the Bible, but some of the stuff in there is very insightful. And that's just one of the things that I believe. Man cannot control man. That does not work. It hasn't worked throughout history. People have tried it, but what happens? People start to see what's really going on, and they rise up against their government to keep them in check. And then the next government comes around and says, oh, we're going to do the right thing by the people, but, you know, they never do. So I would say that your government is whatever your local community is. You know, people that know who you are. You know, you interact with people, and that's what the media has done. Is they've divided people and they've conquered them. You know, that's government tactic 101. Divide and conquer, divide and rule, and that's it's a military tactic. So don't fall for it. You know what I mean? People are inherently good, decent human beings that have good intentions. The media and everything that they put into your head has done nothing but use psychological warfare on you. So stay away from it. You know what I mean? Try to stay away from the media as much as possible. Look at, you know, watch independent news like this. You know, I'm not saying to believe everything I'm saying. Do your research. I've always said that. And that's what I will continue to say is do your research and look into things for your own self. And don't trust anyone out there to do it for you because, you know, do other people have your best interests in mind? Does your government have your best interests in mind by bailing out banks and allowing them to keep on putting you into debt by issuing you currency or credit? No, you know, the answer is obvious. So stay away from it. It's dangerous. I would not use that system because the more power you give to them, the more power they have over you. So you get into something like this, it puts power back into your hands as a human being, as a citizen of Earth. This is something that has always been money since we've been around, since the beginning of Earth. You know, the value is inherent in precious metals. Cryptocurrency, you can keep on creating them. You can make digital copycats, and it's controlled by a government. So it's a control tool. Stay away from that. Any kind of digital currency is not money, okay? This is money. This and this right here, these are real money, okay? This is real money. Not the shit that they issue from the Federal Reserve in exchange for what I'm holding in my hand right now. And you don't have to go with the Royal Canadian Mint. That's just a conscious decision that I chose to make because it has the highest purity of silver amongst, you know, the silver and gold, 0.9999. And, you know, do your research into things, people. You know, be smart. You know, everybody has the same capabilities as me and as anybody else. If I came back from being homeless as a kid, living on the streets with my mother, having no money, no father to support me, and I did this on my own, I think anybody else out there has the same capabilities that I have in order to be smart and make good decisions, good business, financial decisions, and to, you know, get out of debt. You know, anybody is capable of it. Don't fall for the media bullshit. Don't fall for any of the drugs that they try to put you on. Don't listen to your doctors because do they really have your best interests in mind when they're taking information from lobbyists for drug companies? I mean, come on. Let's be honest. You know, for instance, the military in the United States, they, you know, they make an oath to protect and serve against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And have they? Have they? No, they haven't. Because if they did uphold that oath, Hillary Clinton would be in prison right now, and we would have a free market that decides what money is. So there's still criminals, there's still manipulation, and the FBI is not doing their goddamn job, and neither are any of the other three-letter agencies out there, because they're all part of this. It's a conspiracy. You can call it a conspiracy theory if you want, but when it really comes to light and you guys see what's really going on, you're going to know I'm not lying to you, and you're going to see that this whole system has just been a pyramid scheme. Like on the back of the United States $1 bill, you have the pyramids that are over in Egypt, and they're taking that very same model and applying it to this scheme here in the United States. So stay away from it and be smart. Okay, guys, you can't afford to be stupid, not today, because it's going to cost you your life, your livelihood, the lives of your children, your loved ones, your friends. You need to get out there and you need to spread this information and let them know that you should be scared, and not scared of the things that they're showing you on TV. You need to be scared for your financial situation, because this is how they make slaves out of you, by extracting this in return for debt. That's what they issue you, is debt. So this is the exact opposite of debt. This is financial freedom, and it always has been throughout history. And anyone that tells you otherwise has a different agenda. They don't want to see the free market decide what money is. They want to see you impoverished and in debt. So, you know, if that's not what you want, make good financial sound decisions, and you'll be able to come out of it. You know, use your skills. You know, you are the biggest asset in your life, not this shit right here in front of you. What you are able and capable of, what you are capable of doing is what makes you a valuable asset to humanity, to the world. So you get out there and you spread good information, and good things will happen. You know what I mean? You know, karma has a way. And even if you don't believe that, you know, you don't have to believe that. But, you know, the more bad shit that you do to people, the more it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. You screw people over, eventually they're going to start catching on to that, and they're going to find out who you are, and you're going to get hurt really bad in some way or another. And that's just something that I've learned over time by seeing how people treat each other. And, you know, the way the economy is today, you can see the way it's going, and it's not going to last. You know, these financial institutions, sure, they'll stay in power, but that's only because they've made very smart decisions to manipulate people. I'm not doing that. I'm actually telling you people, get out of dollars, get out of debt, and get into precious metals, because that is where money is. Okay, that's where financial freedom is. You can wake up tomorrow knowing that if the financial system collapses, that you're going to be safe, because guess what? The banks are doing exactly this. They're stockpiling, and that's what I'm doing, and I think that's what you should be doing. Again, this is Felonious Bitcoin, and I'm sorry I've gone on forever about this video. My cat's getting sick and tired of watching me. Come here, Mia, say hi. Hold on a second. Mia, say hi to my audience, all right? This is Mia. This is my Bengal cat, Mia. She actually has given me a lot of inspiration for my business and what I do. I actually breed Bengal cats, so if you guys are interested, hit me up. The TICA registered. I take very good care of my cats, you know, and I'm not advertising. You know, if you guys are interested in Bengals, and if you don't want to buy one from me, you don't have to. I can refer you to other places that sell them too. But if you like cats, I mean, Bengal cats are really cool, and they're amongst the most intelligent of all the cats that exist. So, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm ranting and raving, but you know, the overall point of this video is to get out of debt and get into precious metals, and copycat and do exactly what the banks are doing, you know, because they're allowed to promote shady business practices amongst their business partners and whoever else they stand to profit. But if you go and do those same business practices, you're breaking the law. So, you know, it's kind of like a really fucked up system. And if you look close enough, you can start to see the bigger picture. And I've torn this picture apart from the inside out. And I've you know, blown the whistle on this stuff many times. I did used to be a big cryptocurrency advocate, so I apologize for that, but there was money to be made in it, and I did make a lot of money. You know, and I'm not going to say exactly how, because then what you say can and will be used against you, so I'm not going to do that. But, you know, right before it went up to $20,000, you know, I sold right before that. I sold right before it hit the $20,000 mark. It was like $19,500, and then I sold off, and then it crashed. But you know, you guys are welcome to do what I'm doing, and that's what I advocate for. And this is where financial sense takes place, is right here in precious metals. But yeah, if you're starting out, my recommendation would be to start out small and then work your way up. You know, start out with like, yeah. You want to start out with like the dimes, the 1964 dimes. That's what these are right here. I mean, you can hear the difference, you know, when you play with it. You know, you hold it in your hand. It just has a different feel to it. It makes you, honestly, I feel like it gives you a different kind of energy. Like you feel empowered by having this in your possession. And it makes a very different sound than, you know, the money that you have in your pocket that's made out of zinc and you know, all kinds of other filler metals that aren't worth anything. And there's more value. You know, so get out of the non-value shit that is issued from the Federal Reserve and get into real financial common sense metals like this. But yeah, Felonious Bitcoin, if you like, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Anyone out there that comments, I'll be sure to try to mention you in my next video. I'll give you a shout out. You know, if you guys have a business that you'd like to promote, hit me up. I'd be more than happy to give you guys a shout out. I'm not getting paid for any of this stuff. I have my own businesses that I run online. I do a gift wrapping business. I breed Bengal cats. I'm a cryptocurrency consultant. You know, I'm a cryptographer. I do all kinds of different work. But for the most part, my main goal is to see other people succeed. And I'm going to promote that in any way that I possibly can. So again, if you guys want a resource on where to buy, I'm not getting paid from any of these businesses, so don't take this as like, you know, I'm advocating for them, because you can buy precious metals anywhere, okay? But where you'll get the best deal, and from what I've found personally, is bullion exchanges, or, you know, SD Bullion. It's a couple other ones. Yeah, AppMex has a great selection, but their prices are a little bit more over spot than bullion exchanges, so I try to, you know, stay away from them unless I'm looking for something like this that bullion exchanges might not carry, so I'll go to them for that. But yeah, for the most part, I stick to bullion exchanges for all my precious metals because they accept all different types of payment, and, you know, when you're holding this is what's really going to have value at the very end of this whole musical chair shit game that's been going on. So yeah, guys, Felonious Bitcoin here. And again, I would love you guys, if you like, subscribe, and if you got some sort of value out of this, spread awareness. You know what I mean? Sorry, Mia's getting in the shot. But yeah, you guys, you want to, you know, make sense out of your financial situation, because right now, I'm sure for most of you, it doesn't really make much sense. You know, you're working and working and working, and you're not able to show any kind of value for it. And why is that, you wonder? It's because somebody has taken this away from you, and they're having it put into their possession and issuing you currency in exchange. This shit, you know, that's not worth anything. You know, this is why do people have confidence in a paper-backed currency that can be printed to infinity, issued by a government that has a vested interest to impoverish and keep control over people? Are you crazy? Like, you would have to be crazy to think that this is money. You know what I mean? This is, we all share a hallucination that this is worth something when it's really not. How hard is it to duplicate this? Please tell me. You know, you see fake bills getting passed left and right, and what do they have? They have the Secret Service out there hunting these people down, but they can't catch them all. But you can't forge this shit. Everybody knows that this is gold. You know what I mean? And if you're very skeptical, you can always get a machine like Sigma Metalytics Pro Verifier to see all the way through your metal to make sure that it's real and that it's value. You know what I mean? I'm telling you guys, do what the banks are doing and you won't be sorry. Again, sorry for saying this over and over again, but this is Felonious Bitcoin, and this video has gone on for way too long. My cat Mia has fallen asleep now to my ranting and raving, and I just hope that you guys get out of debt in any way possible, even if it's starting out small. You know, buy a couple of these dimes, buy a tube of these silver dimes. You know, hold on to them, play with them a little bit, and compare them to the coins that you have in your pocket today. You know, you'll hear the difference. You'll feel the difference. But yeah, that's my advice, and it's not financial advice. This is just my own personal advice, what I would say to do. Because if, precious metals go to zero like they've never done in history, then I could be held liable, for criminal action. It's crazy, right? Because I'm just trying to give good advice. Because, the governments are trying to control you with debt. and you need to move away from that. Be a neutral party in this game that they're playing. Don't play their game. Get out of the game and just say you're not going to play it anymore. Because when the time comes and hyperinflation sets in, you will be made into a debt slave. It will carry over to the next paradigm, and you don't want to be a part of that. So this is Felonious Bitcoin. This is all I'm going to say, and I hope you guys like and subscribe to this video. I love the shit out of you guys. You guys are the best audience I could ever imagine to have. And this is what it's all about, sharing the best ideas possible for financial freedom and getting out of debt. Okay, guys, take care. Felonious Bitcoin here.